And this is the next video. In this video I will talk about Queen's Gambit accepted, how to deal with this opening if you have white pieces, and I will show you once again the game of my students and try to uh, explain you the ideas. d5, knight f3, knight f6. Yeah, and once again my student, he hasn't a good memory, and also before me he has now a good coach, and for this reason he hadn't stable repertoire, and he doesn't know what to do in, and even in many situations he didn't have even some basic knowledge, and I was very surprising because his level was very high, chess level, has a very good positional intuition, but unfortunately he didn't know some games. And okay, I will show you, for example, this game. This is a very famous position of Queen's Gambit accepted. b5 was played in the game, the main move is c5, but b5 is also playable option. Bishop to b7, and now knight c3. Very logical continuation to develop this knight, but the problem that in this position, in this specific position, and also in Queen's Gambit accepted, this is a this is a very bad square for the knight. I try to understand you. I try to explain you why. So knight c3 was played in the game. b3 is not so bad. b3 is okay. And now once again d takes c5, bishop to b2, and here one of the strongest, very strong. And I recommend you to play this if you knight b1, and then very strong this maneuver. The idea that after this knight to c4, bishop to b8, knight f to e5, then bishop to f3, and this is the main idea, to exchange this light square bishop, and black has a weak square on c6, a very typical idea. And if black doesn't know what to do, doesn't know the concrete approach, how to deal with this plan, black okay, it is very risky. It is very risky for black, and black has a big risk to to get a very complicated position, to get a very hard position, difficult position. Okay, so but you see that why even here before knight b1, knight d2 is a very good maneuver, and for this reason it is better to play b3 immediately here. And in case of knight b to d7, bishop to b2, c5, knight b to d2, and then to prepare for the a5 a4 move. And now it works very well, and here it is much more unpleasant for black. Knight f to e5, then bishop to f3, rook to c1, and black has to be very careful, otherwise it is very dangerous position for black. Yeah, and but my student make a normal move, very logical, but the problem, he didn't know the theory, and he didn't know some basic ideas at this time. And I think that this is a very typical situation. Okay, this is a very bad situation, because in this situation it is very complicated for young player to fight for the example, and to get and to improve your results, because in every game you will get a bad position, and or so. And if you know some typical ideas, for example, like this one, b3, once again I want to show you this, and then a4, then knight to c4, then knight f to e5, then bishop to f3. And if you know these tips in many openings, so I think that you have a you can improve your result dramatically. Okay, hope this video will be useful for you, and see you next videos.